Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to structure section. Today we're still going to discuss about pronoun as a part of speech, but we're going to do the part 2. The part 2 is going to continue our discussion on the previous video. So make sure that you check the first video in order to connect it to the whole information in this video. Remember that at the end of the video and explanation, you are going to have the exercises. So let's check it out. 4 is relative pronoun. You can use a relative pronoun to link one phrase or clause to another phrase or clause. The relative pronouns are who, whom, that, which, and the compound whoever, whomever, whichever are also relative pronoun. You can use relative pronoun who and whoever to refer to subject or clause or sentence, and whom and whomever to revert to the subject of a verb, a verbal, or a preposition. So this is the example of the relative pronoun. Number 1, you may invite whomever you like to the party. The relative pronoun whomever is the direct object of the compound verb may invite. And then take a look to the second. The second sentence said, the candidate who wins the greatest popular vote is not always elected. In this sentence, the relative pronoun is the subject of the verb wins and introduce the subordinate clause who wins the greatest popular vote. This subordinate clause acts as an adjective modifying candidate. And then the third sentence. In a time of crisis, the manager asks the worker whom she believed to be the most efficient to arrive an hour earlier than usual. So in this sentence, whom is the direct object of the verb believes, and introduce the subordinate clause whom she believed to be the most efficient. This subordinate clause modifies the noun workers. So indefinite pronouns is the fifth pronoun. An indefinite pronoun is a pronoun referring to an identifiable but not specified person or thing. An indefinite pronoun conveys the idea of all, any, none, or some. The most common indefinite pronouns are all, another, any, anybody, anyone, anything, each, everybody, everyone, everything, few, many, nobody, none, one, several, some, somebody, and someone. Okay, remember that some indefinite pronoun can be also used as indefinite pronoun or indefinite adjective. So what are the examples of indefinite pronoun? Sample number 1. Many were invited to the lunch, but only 12 showed up. Here, many act as the subject of the compound verb were invited. Sentence number 2. The office had been searched and everything was thrown onto the floor. So the word everything is act as a subject. And then what subject it is? It's the subject of the compound verb, which is was thrown. Then the third sentence, we donated everything we found in the attic to the women's shelter garage sale. In the sentence, everything is the direct object of the verb donated. Number 4. Although they looked everywhere for extra copies of the magazine, they found none. So the word none is the direct object of found. 6 is reflexive pronoun. So what is reflexive pronoun? Reflexive pronouns refer back to the subject of the clause or sentence. The reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, herself, himself, itself, ourself, yourself, and themselves. Remember that these can also act as an intensive pronoun. So what are the examples of reflexive pronoun? The examples of reflexive pronouns are sentence number 1. Diabetes give themselves insulin shot several times a day. Number 2. The dean often does the photocopying herself so that the secretaries can do more important work. Sentence number 3. After the party, I asked myself why I had fixed invitation to everyone in my office building. Sentence 4. Richard usually remembered to send a copy of his email to himself. So the word themselves, herself, myself, and himself are the reflexive pronouns. One is intensive pronouns. An intensive pronoun is a pronoun used to emphasize its antecedents. Intensive pronouns are identical in form to reflexive pronoun. So what are the examples of intensive pronoun? Number 1, I myself believe that aliens should abduct my sister. Number 2, the Prime Minister himself said that he would lower taxes. Sentence number 3, they themselves promised to come to the party even though they had a final exam at the same time. Okay, I think that's all, but I do hope that you make at least 2 examples of an indefinite pronoun, intensive and reflexive pronoun. So write it in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you. That's all the explanation about the pronoun. See you on the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.